Hi, welcome to the May meeting of MNRCC. I'm here, Lauren is here, we have on the phone, we have Rhonda and we have Francina, and we're expecting Rich to call in momentarily. So the first item is to get approval of today's agenda. I move it, we'll get a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes which was sent out. I move that, we'll get a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? It's approved. Okay, so Chair's report was emailed out. But since we have some time, I'll just briefly go over it. Warren and I have been making a lot of noise about the fact that NJ Transit wants to cancel our 2-hour full express train starting next month. I was out and about a week ago Monday speaking with commuters, and then last Friday, for about 2 hours, I was on the platform at Danny West speaking to people. Many people knew, many did not know, and so I suggested that they voice their concerns on the MTA website. I also rode the express train last Friday, and Warren was on there too, and I went through the entire train. And spoke with people, and I apologize for breaking the rules about the quiet car, but I felt this was important because the train they were riding was destined to be eliminated at least through the end of the year. And I got assurances from people that they would, in fact, support going on the website and complain to Metro North.
So Randy, you spoke while you were on board the train to your fellow riders?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
All 4 cars.
did people engage with you in
Oh
that?
yeah, some of them did, yeah. I heard some stories of people, oh, I need that express train at night, and I love having this thing. For the people who are getting to New York at 9:06 as per schedule, to get any kind of a delay, they would have to take, instead of the 8:06 out of, now 8:05 out of that, 7:37 train out of that, in order to arrive at the same time. This week on Monday, it was arranged in advance that we were both available. Oh, yes. All right, thanks, Rich. All right, so we're 5:06. That's pretty good. I thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here. I appreciate it. So on Monday afternoon at 12:30, the program at the train station, our representative from Congress, Peter Lowy, and our county executive, McVeigh, and Warren and I spoke to the media. It was all local media. I had hoped that some of the New York City people would come and we did it.
My earphone.
What did you say?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Rich? Rich, are you on?
No, I want you to, yeah, I'm on. I want to get an earphone and put it in my ear so I can hear it. I'm at work.
Okay. So anyway, we called for the county executive is really angry about this, and I am too. I mean, you know, there are ways that they can work around getting our 4-car train with an engine and a crew. And I think there's no excuse that they can't do it. But, you know, we're the low-hanging fruit, and I'm hoping that we can get some resolution to this before the 4th of June. There was a We Are Listening forum that was held in Hoboken, and Ellen went there and spoke with the new executive director of New Jersey Transit,
Gavin Corbett.
Kevin Corbett, and it says here that,
Oh.
if you just briefly say.
Well, it seems like it's an overwhelming situation for New Jersey Transit right now. And so this is one element of it, and that they are so understaffed, under-equipped, under everything. And I asked them, you know, where do the board members stand? Because there are no new board members. Apparently they're tied up in Trenton, not getting approved. And on top of it, when you look at the size of the Metro North board members, and you look at the size of New Jersey Transit, even if they were filled, it's like 5 people. I mean, it's so undersized for the task of the job of turning New Jersey Transit around and getting the capital program and all these things. So it was a discouraging.
Well, for years, Warren and I and other advocates have been telling New Jersey Transit's board that they need to do something more than they're doing.
They need legislative help to boost them so that they have the number of people on the board that can influence and get more money their way, because it's just anemic, below anemic, it's on life.
Well, that's what I brought up at many of the New Jersey Transit.
Right, you've been saying this for years.
And other advocates as well.
Yeah, but it's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, the legal point is there, well, I'm not gonna go over the other stuff over here. Just I'll say to get in the meeting, I hope everybody can come to our PCAC meeting in June. It's June 7th. It'd be nice to have a nice representation from the MNRCC. All right.
Who's our guest?
John Liebman.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that should be an excellent.
Jano's probably, he's one of the people making the most changes in the MTA right now by changing the way that contracting and is done, so that ought to be an interesting
That is
presentation.
a real, do you all know Jano Lieber before the MTA and then when he came here? On the phone?
Rich, Rhonda.
So Jano was responsible for rebuilding the World Trade Center.
Yeah, he
Managed that
was
project.
the Silverstein Properties point person to do all their development work down at the World Trade Center, which was quite a task. They were, at times, they weren't sure whether the whole thing was going to go bankrupt, and he managed to just sort of tough it out and tell people that they had to get things done, and it did actually get done. But One World Trade got done because Jano was there.
And that I think his background in real estate also presents opportunities at looking at the MTA's assets in a different way than they've been looked at before. And with Metro North into Penn Station, there are several opportunities there that we hope Jano is looking at and can bring up to him at that meeting. So it'd be terrific to have more people there.
And so, as far as the board is concerned, what do you want to say something?
Well, if there's a further discussion about New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit had come up with an unofficial policy, and Randy was alerted to it, and I was alerted to it, and we were very unhappy with it. And that was anytime there was a problem on the Pascack Valley line, the Metro North Express trains would be canceled. It wasn't done officially, it was done unofficially, but it was that second express train got clobbered, sacrificed many times. And what unfortunately Metro North has done now is accepted that as a policy.
Wow.
And I strongly object to that. They never should have, but they did. So it's basically now official policy of New Jersey Transit.
So Metro North's in a weaker spot now because of allowing that.
Well, they need to step up and as our county executive, and I've written to them, they need to take our back. And they've done for every other commuter line that they're managed, they've come through fine. But for us, they seem to be forgotten.
What's the county executive's next step?
I don't know, we've waited a year from them, they never responded yet to his email letter that he sent. And,
Well, it could be the weather, that they're a little backed up with.
I'm sure that, I'm sure they're busy, but,
this happened days in advance.
this is gonna happen on the 4th of June. They need to,
We really need to step it up here. In fact, Ward and I were on the train going to last month's committee meetings. We were waiting at the Nannywood station. Our train the express was canceled. So we wound up really getting there much later than we wanted to. For the board report, I just took a look at, it's been updated and we have advanced knowledge of it, so as long as we do these, which I do. And the PTC is coming along very nicely on Metro North and Railroad. Less so on the west side of the Hudson, but we are hostage of New Jersey Transit.
They mentioned freedom ticket in there. anything installed?
I didn't see it yet, but it just was updated, and, you know, it was updated this morning, so I didn't
No,
get a
but,
chance.
yeah, it continually updates, right? So-
Yeah, yeah, it's like the second update since
Where
they
you
put
get
it
it
last week.
development.
So, anyway, the committee meeting is on Monday, so we'll see if anything happens with that. On old business, our membership update, where do we stand with this?
Well, the last update we've had, which was the end of last month, is that we have, right now, we have three recommendations out there in Metro North that are really live. One from Putnam County Executive, one from the city of New Rochelle, and one from the city of White Plains. They are still within the governor's office internal process to decide whether they want to offer that paperwork essentially as of the end of last month. I haven't talked to them this month yet, but yeah, it's a slow-moving process. To give you an idea of the speed of the process, I was told in March that all that remained for a Long Island member is to have the governor's secretary to sign the letter of appointment, and that happened on the 14th of May. So 2 months.
But that's further along than we've gotten.
Yeah, that's certainly farther along. Of course, that person has been in the process for 2 years. So.
But our New Rochelle and White
Yeah,
Plains
have
members,
been nearly 2 years, will be
Yeah.
2 years this summer, yeah, so no, it's just very slow. I do, to my knowledge, the Bronx has not yet made a recommendation again. They have a process, and Walter Zulik did talk to.
Yeah, Westchester County
Westchester
Executive
County Office.
Did he ever send you his paperwork?
I have not seen it, I'll have to get back, I'm gonna have to send him an email and ask him for it. I'll just write that down.
Wow. All right. It's not like these are paid jobs. It's a volunteers. I mean, it's just not right. All right, so briefly, we talked about west of service cuts, west of Hudson service cuts. There are presently 18 trains a day. They used to be 19, so now we stand to go down to 17. And there's also the issue which, in speaking to the commuters or the riders last week, I found out that it's also used by Sabbath service to get home in time for a Friday afternoon. And so this is an issue that was included in the press release, and Lauren spoke about it. County Executive, the Congresswoman Lilly spoke about it too. So we really need answers from New Jersey Transit.
what are there answers on either, like, are there cars
That's
on
one thing.
order?
No, but we were thinking about, Ellen, and it came up and we don't have a straight answer. New Jersey Transit has been running for quite a while. The cab cars from the Comet 4 contract behind the locomotives, the electric locomotives in Penn Station. In other words, it's used as a trailer car, not as an active cab car, or control car.
And I confirmed this the other day when I was coming back from New York. I saw one, and I asked the crew about it, and they said, no, we don't use them in cab cars anymore, we just trailers.
Why?
But now they do, because the biggest problem they have, and why they have to cancel this train, is that they're short cab cars. We were on trains twice with 2 locomotives on it, because they didn't have the control car at one end of the train, so they had to put a second locomotive on.
Wow.
They're running a 3-car train.
So I'm waiting to hear the response
Wow.
from Kathy, and then I'm going to propose this, that they go after Indian Transit to temporarily, if the cars are disabled from being cab cars, they should activate them and use them. If they don't want to put PTC in them, they should at least just use them for the time they still can, and it'll free up, make available for them to use trains.
Well, and then also the engineers situation, I guess.
I don't think that's not going to get better until after Labor Day.
But do they have, I thought Long
Yes,
Island
yeah.
Railroad's training program was like a 2-year. I mean, it takes a long time to get people trained.
Well, that's what New Jersey Transit's saying.
Do they have
It's
a graduating class?
Not enough.
The people in the pipeline, but, you know.
But so is that a year out before they're?
Some people, classes are gonna be completed and engineers released to the road service starting after Labor Day, I'm told.
Yeah.
Do
But
they say how big the batches are? or-
It was small batches, I was told.
Good.
and they've
Just
lost,
a handful.
they've lost, and
Not,
I don't know if they're continuing to lose people, but I suspect they are,
yeah.
just because of the pay differentials.
Right.
You get paid better at MTA than you do at MJ Transit.
And do they have, I would imagine, the same situation where the MTA does, where the number of, it's an aging population, ready for retirement, and then there's a void? Is it?
I don't know.
No, I mean, I think they're more, I think MJ Transit may be a little bit smoother because there wasn't a
Capital
sort
program?
of, I mean, I think, you know, they took over an existing operation sort of,
Oh,
although
They're still
they've ramped things up over.
35 years ago.
Good, but, oh, wow.
Yeah, right.
Well, there is something that came up, and I'll bring it up now. After the last Metro North Committee meeting last month, I was approached by a gentleman who I thought was going to sit here to be here at today's meeting,
Yeah.
David Hendershot, and he represents the Association of Commuter Rail Employees,
Oh,
local division number 9. And he came up with an idea, and I gotta tell you, I agree with his idea. And that is that take Metro North personnel and have them, in the operating agreement, run the trains on the Port Jervis line.
would the union agree to that?
Well, that's something that have to be worked out, but it's worth a try. And what would happen would be, is Metro North has more, and he said Metro North has enough engineers to do that. And I don't know, but he said he did know because he's involved with the crews here on the east side of the Hudson River. And one of the biggest problems that they had on the Port Jervis line is they tried to add a train last year to the middle of the afternoon schedule.
Yeah, it was what they used for from 1601's money.
And what happened was, I asked Susan Metzger about it. She said, Warren, we can't get an engineer, we can't get a crew for that train. So for a long time, they couldn't add the train, not that the equipment was a problem, it was just.
Then Metro North had a crew. They couldn't send a crew, or is she saying that?
Well, they had to use New Jersey Transit. New
New
Jersey
Jersey
Transit
Transit.
didn't have the crew,
Right, right.
and it took almost a year to get a crew to get one train. You know, and that's crazy. And you know, especially along the way, Metro North owns the Port Jervis line. What's going to happen is they're going ahead with the plan of building a midpoint yard, which will have a small maintenance facility in it. And you know, it just makes a lot of sense to work this out. Put it into the operating agreement. If Norfolk Southern can run trains over that railroad, they're freight trains.
Right.
Why couldn't Metro North?
And especially since many of the engineers already were qualified on New Jersey Transit, it's not such a big deal to do.
When is the agreement renewed? Is it?
It hasn't been, and that's
Hasn't
one of
been,
the
it's just
criticisms.
continued.
It just,
of the executive.
yeah, unless amended, it continues.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perpetuity.
Oh, so this would be the amendment?
Yeah, they'd have to amend it, so, yeah, but I mean, yeah, a lot of engineers have to be qualified, because if Metro North wants to move anything by rail out there, they need a qualified engineer to do it, to be able to do it. If they have, you know, equipment, or they have a work train, or whatever it is, they need a qualified engineer to do that work, so.
So has this been brought up with Kathy?
I have not brought it up, I'm going to bring it up though. I was thinking, but I haven't done it because I first wanted to run through this committee, the council, excuse me, and see if people kind of think it's a good idea, you know, before I go hanging
Definitely,
sign
signing it
out
up on Monday.
You know, but it's something, it's
Yeah.
definitely something to look into, and I think we have to. The other one, like Randy said, was we got to get a status on those Comet 4 cab cars that are running behind the locomotives and say, well, Randy told me there's 21 of them.
It's supposed to be 21, I don't know how many are still left.
Can you, like, go through the tick list with Susan and see, and get her thoughts on some of these ideas too, just to get, it's helpful, she's.
Well, you know, this is the sort of thing we gotta start thinking about,
Yeah.
you know? And the other one is upcoming for the capital program. I don't know, when you submit the information request, is that
Now.
now?
Yeah, they're in
Okay.
the process.
And this is the other one, and I am really beyond it. Randy was saying that, you know, hey, the locomotives, some of them on the Port Jervis line have been around for a while, you know, and you know, they were secondhand locomotives. Yes, they were overhauled, but they have one of the longest trips every day than any of the locomotives on any of Metro North lines run. Okay, why have some of the oldest locomotives do that? I don't mind having them as backup, I don't mind having them, you know, for shorter runs or anything else. So what I say is that the Port Jervis line should get a complete new fleet.
Well, the whole west of Hudson, the 15 locomotives need to be replaced, and I don't know how you do it, but I guess we can vote either that we should ask that in the capital program that Metro North include a minimum of 15 engines, plus the number of additional units they're going to need when the midpoint yard opens and services increase there. So
Yeah,
my thinking is going to be a minimum of 15 plus options for maybe 10 more, I don't know.
But I think it would be valuable for the council to put forward a letter.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's
And it
do
could
that.
be
I think the way to do
preliminary,
that
at this
is-
point in time, these are things that we find are critical to, we may,
And I
you may add
suggested
more.
the
but-
Charger locomotive, which is being
Here's what it is.
manufactured in the United States by Siemens.
Oh,
Is the perfect candidate. Commuter railroads across the nation are buying them. SEPTA, Philadelphia, Mark is buying only, SEPTA is buying the equivalent of a city Sprinter, what Amtrak has, because they're electric. But Mark and Maryland bought this just diesel engine. That's all we need is a diesel engine.
right. Here's the
We
thing.
don't need to do what New Jersey Transit is buying, very expensive dual power locomotives. It's just a waste of money.
did you have any luck looking at if Mark's surplus, if that could
There
come to
isn't
New
any.
Jersey? There's no more.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
And then Long Island Railroad may not even get their cost this
All
year.
right.
That's,
But here's the thing, just going back a little about these Charger locomotives. Okay, they're 4,400 horsepower, which means they can pull a 10-car train, no problem. But also, they're tier 4 environmentally. So I'm not saying that you could recommend a brand to the board, but it would be this type of locomotive, or Siemens or equivalent, you know, and
Yeah.
anybody who could build a locomotive to this specification. And the beauty of it right now is all across the country, they're buying these locomotives for various railroads.
Wow,
In the Midwest, there was a whole consortium of, I think, 33 units that they
Really?
bought under a contract.
yeah.
that would,
Yeah, they have a,
how would this one about? Like a
Same
rain,
here.
that order of magnitude?
I don't know.
We could
We could get
we
it.
don't have to spend the time to be looking at it.
yeah,
We can figure that out.
yeah. No, I mean, I think,
Staff people back
I think we
there.
could just say equivalent, you know, we could just say, our equivalent. The only problem with Siemens is New York, if they don't spend federal money on it, which they probably won't, they have a New York content, legislation in
Right.
place. So it makes it very hard for anybody who doesn't have a facility in the state of New York to win contracts. But I mean.
So what they gotta get the junky locomotives they have now, that
Yeah.
don't run on Long Island Railroad, then they have
Yeah,
to constantly
Brookville.
be fixed on Metro North, I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, but anyway, I think there, you know, obviously, you know, there's ways of establishing a presence in New York if they want it badly. Badly enough.
So let's, how do we get this in the?
I'd say, let's do a resolution that the MNRCC recommends that
Metro
Metro
North
North
purchase
include in the capital program 15, at least 15 additional locomotives.
plus whatever the
Plus.
future requirements might be upon the completion of the establishment of the midpoint yard on the Port Jervis line, where service is gonna be increased.
Right.
I mean, some of those can be reused, but that's, you know, we're increasing service, but they're gonna be increasing services in the years, they need to have more
Right.
locomotives, so.
Okay.
But anyway, Bill, just on this one, basically the specification could say capable of pulling at least a 10-car train and be
Yep.
Tier 4 compliant.
That would be good.
Okay, so can I get a, approval for a second on this resolution from the, people
got
on
it
the
from
phone?
me.
All right, now all in favor?
People on the phone?
Rich?
Yes, Rhonda.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Okay, all in favor? Rich?
Yeah, Rich is on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, Francine, all right, so it's approved.
Right.
All right, so just
Rich,
we'll send it.
you get some nice, spiffy looking locomotives running up to Port Jervis.
Okay, so we'll
And you
write
go
a,
120
we'll
miles
write
an
a
hour.
letter, we'll write a letter that memorializes all this to Kathy, and then we'll send it.
Now, this is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I also think, and I'm not sure, that, to hear from the members on the east of Hudson and the weather event that happened, and if there's anything they saw or heard from friends that could have made things go smoother.
All right, so Francina. Okay, Francina, do you have any suggestions for how things could be better in the future if something similar to what happened Monday night reoccurs?
Francina?
Did we lose her? Hello?
We may have, I didn't.
Francina?
About Rhonda? Are you still there? Rhonda, are you there?
Yeah, Rich is in.
Rhonda, did you commute that night? Or
I left earlier, so I missed it.
did
Okay,
you
so you
hear
were out
anything
by-
from, anybody that you know that experienced it, or, any stories?
Yeah, people just said they got home like between 9 and 12.
Nothing, but as far as, I was pretty pleased that I was catching the 5 train from downtown, and that they were making the onboard announcements on the subway
Not too good.
to let people know before they got to Grand Central. So I thought that was an improvement that was made.
I think there really needs to be some intensive brush clearing. There's a contract, there's a procurement to increase the amount of money being spent on doing that. But it needs to be really, really top priority to go in and get all this old dead brush and whatever else is in the way and remove it. And I don't know who's gonna pay for stuff on private property, but we need.
I think that the thing is that what got taken down was big old healthy trees, that you wouldn't have expected, but at the severity of the storm, and they fall from pretty far inland. They're not just
Yeah,
close to the right of way, they're big.
there were a lot of
That's hard.
uprooted trees
Yeah.
that ended up hitting either wires or track. I know what's I believe what the standard process is they can basically cut up to the right of way line, and then you need permission to trim back trees.
And they did that a lot on the New Haven line, I don't know, 4 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I think they do it every year. So,
They do, but they had some windstorms earlier this year, and then they figured out, hey, we gotta step this up a little bit.
Sent a text message and I didn't, because I had the phone on silent.
Right.
Oh,
No, it is something. I'll tell you, Bill, I came with Randy, and getting from my house to Randy's house, there was still a bunch of local
He's in the
roads
middle of a meeting.
that were closed.
well, yeah.
Yeah. So the town highway department is working on that.
Yeah.
What happens though is if you get involved with trees, they have to make sure the local utility shuts the electric power down before the town can go in and work on getting
So
it.
that's a delay.
That can be a delay. And that was a big issue brought up during Hurricane Sandy, or Superstorm Sandy. And the town was not able to open a lot of the roads because of the power had not been shut off. The lines were down, so they were still somewhat live, and it became an issue. It was also written up in the Moreland Commission report. The governor had convened the Moreland Commission to investigate the response of the utilities to hurricanes Irene and Sandy, and that was one issue that came out.
So that's really it, because then, well, you can't do prevention maybe, but resiliency on the speed of recovery and knowing, oh, what was the before, after result with the, maybe, I don't know if it's the power authority or who it is.
It may not be local
O&R
utility.
part of it.
There's just a little bit of background on this whole thing. There's a huge issue about utilities and utility rates because the new tax law that goes in reduces the tax that the utilities have to pay the federal government, federal income tax. And the utilities are provided through the Public Service Commission a certain rate of return. Well, if the federal tax they have to pay goes down, all of a sudden they've got this money. And when Orange and Rockland County was approached on this one, they said they were reluctant about giving the refund back to the customers. They would rather use it for hardening
The system.
the infrastructure. Right, but I don't think it was working so much. We were supposed to have a rate hearing in Rockland yesterday. I don't know whatever happened to it. But this is an issue I'm bringing up about the report from the Moreland Commission
Well,
about this.
could at the board meeting, maybe Randy, ask how was the response by local utilities in terms of turning off
And the other one
the
is...
power in order to get on those tracks? And, I mean, one was you have to wait for the weather to pass and then,
I don't think it's any different than it is from the transit authority. You know, we need power off, the desk superintendent picks up the phone and says, I want power off here and there, and they take it off. We do it.
that's
Yeah, I mean,
not,
I don't think it's any
That's
different
not-
on the railroad.
Yeah, if it's an electrified line, but then there's also the, often there's the public power,
Well, if it's
Yeah.
a line
Lines
going
that
over
are down.
then-
Exactly.
yeah, they had that situation on Long Island, you know, about 2 or 3 months ago where it really wasn't the railroad's issues with wires, it was more PSE&G's
well, isn't that
wires
what
that were
Orin
down.
isn't that what you're speaking about?
Yeah, Yeah.
To some, yeah. Because
Yeah.
So were there those scenarios
yeah,
where the private utilities lines are going across and it delays
Right,
cleanup?
Kathy is gonna give a report, and I will ask at that time.
Okay.
that's good.
Just remember also that some of those lines supply power to the substations.
Yeah.
Oh, so then it's
Yeah, they're both traction
that's
power.
complicated.
Yeah, it can be a little more complicated.
Yeah, no, but that was the windstorms they had out on Long Island a couple of months ago. That was the problem. It wasn't it was the utilities lines that were down that meant they couldn't do things.
So, east of Hudson, are there any ideas that our members have about projects or things they'd like to see included in the 2020 to 2024 capital program? We can also send a letter about that. I mean, the White Plains is being